Hi again, everybody. We're back with another pronunciation lesson. I'm Laura, I'm an English teacher from Liverpool. If you haven't attended any of my live streams before, I work with Merseyside Publishing to bring you IELTS help and guidance. Today will be part of a continuing series where we will be going through some of the more difficult words to pronounce in the English language. Today we'll be finishing off the R words and hopefully getting onto the S words as well. Hello to everybody commenting. Nice to have you all back again. If you are new here, the structure of the lesson tends usually to be for the first 20 minutes, I'll just go through the PowerPoint and get through as much of the content as I can. And then after that 20-minute mark, I'm happy to take any of your questions or any suggestions of words that you'd like some help pronouncing, and come back to any slides that you've had difficulty with. So don't forget, if you do have any questions, to just leave them in the comment box and I will definitely get back to them, I promise. So good morning, everybody. I'll just give everybody 30 more seconds to just make their way into the live stream if they are interested in it. And if you are new and you haven't seen any of the other ones, they're all posted on Facebook on the Merseyside Publishing page. So if you would like to see them, all you have to do is just scroll down and you can find all of those. They should be in our events section. Okay, I think it's just about time now for us to make a start. Just before we get going, is there any questions about the page or anything like that that anybody needs to know? Just leave them in the comment box if it is okay. So yesterday, as I say, we were doing R words and we got up to refuse here. Good morning, everybody. We got up to refuse and refuse. We went through the difference between those two. And I think everybody was okay with refuse in the end. But anyway, we'll take it from there. So our first word today is the noun regime. Regime. Now, I touched on this yesterday, where the G sound can be different across different words. So it can either be the guttural sound G or a long drawn out sound J, almost like a J. So in this one, it's not regime or regime, I suppose you might have a go at. It's regime. Regime. A programmed or organized schedule of activities. The army places its volunteers under a tough physical regime. So the army, sorry, you're asking about my voice. I really am not feeling too good. I'll get a bottle of water. And hopefully that'll help a bit. The army placed its volunteers under a tough physical regime, which means obviously the volunteers who are training to be in the army have to go under a lot of tough physical activities in order to gain a place in the army, because you've got to be really tough. Okay, so regime. I think we're all right with that one, aren't we? Okay. Then I've got the difference between rain and rain. They're both pronounced the same. So in the first instance of rain, we've got that silent G. The first one is reign, a period of rule for a monarch. So the Queen's reign has spanned 68 years. And also the verb to reign is to hold royal office. So the same as holding a period of rule. Okay, so it can both be referred to in the noun sense, but also in the verb sense. To reign is to rule. Okay, and then the next rain is obviously water falling from the sky, and to rain, the verb, and the process of the water falling. My hair, which it has. Yeah, so the water that comes from the sky, where one is E-I-N, E-I-G-N, and the other one is A-I-N. Rain and rain, pronounced the same, but just spelt differently. So just make sure that you are distinguishing between the two there, because obviously they have quite different meanings. And I think, yeah, it would be a little bit silly if you get those two mixed up. Similarly, we have reinforce, reinforce. So this is a verb meaning strengthen or support, to strengthen or support. The arguments of the lawyer were reinforced by photographic evidence. So in court, when the lawyer is making a case, the points that he is making in that case are reinforced by photographic evidence, obviously showing that a crime has been committed or whatever the offence is. Okay, but you can also reinforce something physically. So perhaps if you know what scaffolding is, it's those long, poles that hold up the second floor of a building. It reinforces the floor of that building. Okay. Hopefully that one is understood. Our next one, slightly more easy, is reject. Reject, which is a verb, and it means to deny or dismiss as inadequate. So he rejected his romantic advances. So the man is making romantic advances, trying to come on to somebody else, and that person rejects them, okay, to deny them. So yeah, Mahmoud has said, I reinforce the protest. Is this correct? Yeah, absolutely. So you could reinforce it physically as to be there, to be present at the protest, or you could reinforce the values of that protest by speaking out about them. To partake in that discussion would be to reinforce the protest. Absolutely, Mahmoud, really good example. Thank you for that. So yeah, so we've got reject, to deny or dismiss as inadequate. Okay. The next one that we have is the noun relevance. Relevance. Slightly more tricky, just because those two E's are sometimes difficult to work out how they're going to be pronounced. So we've got re, le, and then vance, where the last E is silent. The two E's are pronounced the same. So split it up into its different parts. Rel, vance, relevance. It's a noun, and it is the quality of one topic being closely related to another. So the study of maths has some relevance to the field of physics. And the adjective form is at the bottom of the slide there, relevant. Relevant. Okay. Again, in the adjective form, pronounced just the same, but without that S sounding C at the end. Okay. He rejected my proposal. Absolutely. So to make a proposal, to make an argument or a plan for something, and for it to be rejected, dismissed, denied, that would be to reject a proposal. Or of course, if you're asking somebody to marry you and they say no, then that is rejecting your proposal as well. A marriage proposal, obviously. Okay. The next word is reliable. reliable, which is an adjective, and it is the ability to be depended upon. She was the company's most reliable employee, so she was rewarded with extra work. Okay, reliable, able, reliable. So, okay, there could be lots of instances of you being reliable. It may be that you're always on time. You always get done what you intend to get done. Yeah, I hope that those are some examples. Maybe you can think of more instances of being reliable, of somebody that could be depended upon. And maybe you have a friend that's always there for you in a bad time. They would be reliable. Okay. Oil prices are reliable. Well, good for you if they are. They certainly aren't in our country. They're going up and down all the time, or they are reliably bad. But yeah, that's a great example. So he's talking about them being fixed, them being you can always depend on them to be a certain price. That would make them reliable. Yeah, great example. Thank you for that. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. She is a reliable person for me. Yes, really, really good example. You are reliable in the case of learning English. I certainly hope so. Are there any synonyms for reliable? Very good question. So a good example might be dependable, or well-grounded. If you're talking about somebody who is dependable in that they are honest, then you could say that they are authentic. So probably the best one would be dependable. There it is on the slide. I'll just highlight that for you. Okay, so our next one is relieve. So the word is a verb. It means to lessen pain, severity, or distress. I was relieved that the test was over. Okay, I've sneakily used the adjective form there, but it is always also a verb. So you might relieve somebody's pain by giving them some paracetamol or some painkillers. Or you could relieve somebody's anxiety by telling them a secret. And then we've got the noun form, relief. So you would achieve relief, which is the complete lessening of that pain or severity or distress. So I've put the sentence at the bottom there. What a relief is an exclamation, a statement that people often make when they've come to the end of a period of stress or questioning, and that question's been answered. Oh, what a relief. Okay. I think we will never be relieved of the pandemic. I certainly hope that we will. I'm hoping that we're reaching the end soon, and the end is in sight. It isn't at the moment in Liverpool, but there's a lot riding on having no more lockdown, and hopefully everybody will get better at treating the disease. Please don't say that there'll never be a relief of the end of the pandemic. I really, really hope so. Okay. So I'll move on to the next one, which is a little bit trickier. Remainder. A part of the greater whole, which is left over. Okay, so that remains part. It's part of the word remain. He asked her if he could eat the remainder of her meal which she had left on her plate. So she's eaten this part that she didn't like or didn't finish, and he has asked to eat the remainder of it. That's the amount that's left over. Okay. Good afternoon, Shankar. She was relieved when her periods were over. Yep. So really, really good example. She comes to the end of those and feels the relief. She is relieved. Was there another example that we had? Yeah, relieved and to relieve. Okay. She relieves pain. Yeah, so that would be to lessen the pain of another individual. Okay. So I think, oh gosh, where's my PowerPoint gone? My PowerPoint's gone. Oh dear. Oh, it's back. It's back. Can everybody see that? Hopefully you can see that. It's back for me anyway. Okay, where was I? Oh yes, remainder we've done. We could say the remainder of the lesson is going to be 44 minutes. The remainder of the bottle of water would be the amount that's left. Anything that is left of the smaller, a smaller part of the greater whole, which is left. Okay. The next one, slightly more easy. We have its remedy. Remedy. We have both E's, again, are pronounced the same. Remedy. Okay. Cure or treatment of disease or injury. So the remedy for aching muscles is a hot bath and a massage. You know what a massage is when you rub the muscle that's sore, sometimes with oil. So yeah, the remedy is the cure or treatment for disease or injury, or I think pain in general as well. So maybe a remedy for a sore throat would be hot drinks and lots of bed rest. I could do with some bed rest. Yeah. So remedy, cure or treatment. Okay. Our next one is removal. Removal. Mahmoud has said paracetamol is the remedy for fever. Absolutely, yeah, really good example, and one I could probably take heed of. So, the action of taking something away, the removal of the rubbish will make the place smell so much better. The removal of rubbish will make the place smell much better. So taking the rubbish away, putting it somewhere else, hopefully in the bin, that will make the place smell much better. We've got a couple of other examples of remedy. There is no remedy for this disease. I hope that you're not talking about COVID, because they're going to find a cure and then we can all go back outside and have a normal life again. Your sweet sound is the remedy for my stress. So the stress is the ailment, there is the pain, the condition, and the sound, probably of a voice, would be the remedy. Okay. Mr. X is in leaps and bounds from remedy. The kind of remedy of a cold is to drink hot and spicy water. The remedy for a cold is plenty of rest. I think we could all be doctors in this live stream, the amount of advice that we're able to give for people's ailments. If anybody is feeling under the weather, please visit the comments section, because they've probably posted the remedy for your for your condition there. Can we use remedy in other examples for something that symbolizes a cure? Absolutely, yes. So a quite well-known saying is, that the smile is a remedy for sadness. So even if you're not feeling happy. You can still smile, and then because you've smiled, it makes you actually feel happier. Maybe you could say the remedy for poverty would be to distribute wealth amongst, the unemployed. There's remedies for things that aren't actively, a disease or a condition. It can be anything really that's bad. Yeah. Okay, so here's a really good one. The remedy for a broken heart is to listen to songs. Is that correct? What is your opinion? Yes, absolutely. That is a really, really good example. Thank you so much for that one. So yeah, that's a really good example for you. Is it Shayeda? Yeah. So the remedy for a broken heart is to listen to songs. Okay. Is there a synonym for removal? Okay, it depends on the sense of removal that you mean. If you're moving one thing to another place, it could be to transfer, to move, to transport, or if it is to get rid of something, then it could be to delete, to erase, to destroy. Depends what kind of action you're talking about, whether that's moving from one place to another place or to get rid of completely, which words like destruct and destroy would be more suitable. Okay, thank you for your question. It's always important for those people who aren't sure to look for synonyms for words, because in the English language, so many words are so similar, but can have just a very slightly different meaning, which can be so crucial to making your sentences sound like you know what you're talking about. Because if you get that slight meaning off, it can really show that maybe you aren't a native speaker and you aren't quite sure about the language. So always make sure to check with synonyms. It can help you with the learning process, and it can also help you to sound that little bit more professional and knowledgeable. Okay. Every morning I see the removal van because my neighbours moved to live in the countryside. Okay, so in this case, removal is an adjective to talk about the van. It's quite common. Everybody, I think, will know what removal van is. It's just the van that you use to take all of your belongings to the next place that you're going to live. Okay, thank you for that example. Does removal mean disposal? Yes, so that's another really, really good noun. So you would dispose, that would be the verb, of rubbish. You would oversee the disposal of chemicals, for example. To remove them, to destroy them, to take them away. Okay, thank you again. Okay. Next one we have is the verb to renew. To renew, which is to resume after a period of interruption. Her love for her husband was renewed every time he walked through the door. So every time the husband comes home, her love for him is renewed, is resumed, is strengthened. Yeah. Or you could say renew your beauty, maybe by performing beauty routines using cream or whatever it is. Renew your so people might renew their marriage vows, for example. That would mean to have a second marriage and to redevote yourselves to each other. Yeah. Okay. Renowned is an adjective. It means known and talked about by many people. So we covered this a little bit with the word notorious. certainly notorious and renowned are going to be synonyms for each other in one sense, because you could be renowned for something positive or negative. For example, you might have somebody who is a renowned scientist. That would mean obviously they are well known for science, but you could also have a renowned criminal. They would be notorious. Okay. Liverpool is renowned for its friendly inhabitants. That's true. Liverpool is famous for being one of the most friendly cities in England. So if you are ever down this way and you would like to visit an English city, I highly recommend Liverpool, the most friendly city in all of England. Okay, yeah, so renowned, yeah. Does renew mean innovate? I would say renew means more in the sense of to resume. It's not to create something new. It's to freshen up or strengthen something which is already existing, not to create something new, which I think innovate definitely has that meaning of creating something new, whereas to renew is to strengthen something that's already there, perhaps feeling like in the example that I gave, her love is renewed, or conversely you could have his hatred is renewed. Okay. Laura Mann will soon be a renowned name in teaching. Thank you. I hope so. We'll soon see, won't we? Thank you for saying so, though. It is important. I like to hear that, you're finding this helpful. If you're not finding it helpful, please message me and give me your suggestions. I'd love to find out what I could do to be a better teacher for the rest of you. Okay. So we'll keep going. We had renowned, and then there is replacement, which again is a noun. The action or process of replacing something. A person who takes the place of another. After the employee got the sack, the manager was forced to look for a replacement. So that is the noun form of the verb to replace. That is to put one thing in the place of another. So where maybe something is lost, if you lost your watch, you would replace it by buying another one. If you have broken up with your girlfriend, you would replace her by getting a new girlfriend. And so on like this. So getting a new one where something else is inadequate, insufficient, or no longer available. Okay. So in this example, the employee got the sack. The manager was forced to look for a replacement. Okay. Another easy one, reproduce. So that E at the start is the emphasis, pro, and then duce. Split it up into 3 parts, reproduce. Create a copy of. The art gallery does not hold the original portrait. Comes artists to reproduce famous works. Okay. So you might also think of reproduce as in the sexual sense, which is to create a child, obviously, is the process of reproduction. That would be the noun, reproduction. And to reproduce, obviously, it's not actually a copy of yourself, your child, but it's nearly a copy of yourself. To reproduce, to have sex and produce a child. Okay. Our next one, slightly similarly related. We've got the verb resemble, which is a verb to look or seem similar to something else. Okay, you can tell that they are father and son. His hair and features resemble his dad. So I've put a picture on the screen. Hopefully, you can see there is a resemblance. That would be the noun. I'll pop that at the bottom of the screen actually. Resemblance. And between the father and the son there, not just in the face that they're making like this, but also the shape of their eyes, the shape of their features, and they've got their hair the same. So the son will resemble, that's the verb, resemble his father. Okay. You'll reproduce like the break the ice. Trying to think of what you mean there. Not sure. If you could clarify that one in the comments for me. The replacement of religion by poetry. Yeah. I can't imagine without you replacement across the board. Your painting resembles my one. Yeah. Or you could create a painting which resembles the person that you've painted. That would make it a really good painting. Yeah. Okay. So next word that we have is to reside. Reside, which is the verb to stay, remain, or inhabit. The family resides in a cottage on the banks of the river. Reside. Okay, so that would mean that they live there. They live in the cottage on the banks of the river. And residence, the noun residence, is that place, the physical area or building where people would reside, where they stay, where they live. And the last word there is residential. Residential, which is an adjective, inhabited by people. Okay, residential. All right, so very similar beginning here. Res, the word is residue. Residue. It is a noun. It means debris, a small amount which is left behind by another thing. Okay. Debris, a small amount which is left behind by another thing. The police officers found gunshot residue and bloodstains on the carpet in the room where the murder took place. Okay, so the gunshot residue is when you fire a gun and little particles of residue, of debris, sort of dust, would fall on the carpet. Okay, residue. And the adjective at the bottom there, oh gosh, is residual. Residual. So in both words, the S is voiced. So again, put your hand on your throat and feel the vibration when you pronounce res. Res. It's not res, where there is no vibration. Residue and residual. Okay. So although we reside in different countries, we understand each other through the language of English. Excellent example. Really, really good. Yep. Shankar, thank you for that one. Although we reside in different countries, although we live in different countries, we can communicate with each other using English. Really good, thank you for that example. People who work actually reside in neighbouring towns. Okay. People who work in maybe a particular city actually reside in neighbouring towns. So that would be towns that are next to each other, that's where they live. I am going to reside in my village for a while. Okay. And that would be to live in that village for a period of time. Really good. Thank you for your examples, everybody. Then we have the verb resign. Resign. To quit, give up a position, usually employment, but it could be any position, I suppose, but yeah, to resign. And the example sentence I've put there is the Prime Minister was forced to resign. That would mean forced to quit, usually because he thinks that he is useless. Okay. Next we have resolution. Okay, resolution. It's a noun. It means a firm decision about something. His New Year's resolution was to quit smoking. So you might be familiar, at the turn of New Year on January 1st, it is tradition to make a resolution. That is a firm decision to change your behaviour in the new year. So you might think of what your faults are and then make a resolution to change them. For this example, it's to quit smoking, but it should be for me to drink some more water. It could be anything. It could be to do your homework, to learn English, to take up painting again. It depends. Obviously, it's very subjective and down to the individual. Okay. And the verb I've put at the bottom there is resolve. That is the verb to make a decision. Okay. Next we have restore. Restore, which is a verb to bring back or to re-establish. Okay. After taking the medication, she was restored to health. Okay. To bring back health, to re-establish her health, is to restore her health. Okay. To bring back or re-establish. You might restore somebody to the throne. That would mean to bring them back to rule over a country. Okay. Hopefully that one makes sense, everybody. I'll move on to the next one. Please don't be afraid as well of suggesting any words that you'd like help with in the comment box. I'm always glad to have any suggestions. I can't go through every word in the English language, obviously, so it doesn't have to be words that begin with R, just anything that you're struggling with, I'd be happy to help. Okay. Sorry. Our new word is restraint. Restraint. It's a noun meaning the ability to keep oneself under control. Okay. Ability to keep oneself under control. The mother had no restraint over her anger when her children were threatened. Okay, so when the children are in trouble, are threatened by something, the mother was unable to control her anger. She had no restraint. Okay. Restore your mental strength when you are in trouble or stressed. Perfect example of the word restore, to bring it back, your mental strength. Dear guys, restore your energy to concentrate. Restore your concentration, absolutely. Really good example, thank you. So again, I think I've touched on this before, we are looking to launch one-to-one classes, but we're trying to gauge how many people would be interested in that before we launch that. So if anybody is interested in one-to-one lessons with one of our tutors, please message the page and make that clear, and we should be able to organise them soon for you guys, okay? Next, we have the verb resume. Resume, begin again after interruption. She asked him to resume unpacking his suitcase after he finished his lunch. So, yeah, okay. Then we have retreat. Retreat, which is both a noun and a verb. In the noun sense, it is a place where one can go to relax. They booked a holiday in France for a short weekend retreat. That is, the retreat would be the holiday in France. And then in the verb sense, to leave and to seek shelter from attack or danger. The troops were ordered to retreat from enemy lines. Okay. The troops were ordered to retreat from enemy lines. And again, to leave, to seek shelter. You might retreat from the rain. That would be to run away from the rain, hopefully under cover. Okay. We're nearly towards the end of the R words now, guys. Don't worry. Hopefully we'll get them done this lesson. We have got another 20 minutes left. Just to clarify my timetable, it's 10:30 till 11:30 Great British time, every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. If people could be able to resume their life for a while, it would be fantastic. I presume you mean after COVID, to resume daily life, normal life. Okay. All right, so next we have retrieve. Retrieve, which is a verb to recall or bring back something. Okay, to retrieve. He was unable to retrieve the lost phone. Retrieve. Again, I can't stress this enough. We're always happy to have anybody who would like to be on screen to do some pronunciation for us. If you would like to join in the lesson and be part of the live stream, do just make that clear in the comments. We're looking for somebody maybe new who hasn't done it before, to come on and to pronounce for us. That would be great. Just let me know in the comments and I'll post the link if you are interested, okay? So yeah, so retrieve, recall, bring back something. He was unable to retrieve the lost phone. It's gone forever. We can retrieve the refugees, so that would be to bring them back. Okay. He was going back, trying to retrieve his watch that fell when he chanced upon her coming down the road. So yeah, you can quite easily imagine that scene, a person walking down the road looking to retrieve their watch, which has fallen on the floor, when they happen upon somebody else. Okay. Can we approach you on your personal if we need your help? Absolutely. All you need to do is just message the page and direct your message to Laura, and I'll see your message and get back to you, okay? Feel free to message me at any time. I'll try my best to get back when I can. Okay. We can retrieve to make new friends. Okay. Next word we have is revelation. Revelation, which is a noun meaning a realization or epiphany. An epiphany just means the same. To realize something profound, in a sudden sort of realization. She had a revelation and decided to become a doctor. Revelation. Again, we're just splitting it up into its different parts. Revelation. Revelation. Okay. I'll type that out phonetically for anybody who's not sure. Revelation. Revelation. The next one that we have is revenge. Revenge. Okay. It's a noun, and it is the action of hurting somebody who has caused you to suffer. After finding out he had been unfaithful, the wife desired to get revenge on her husband. So to hurt somebody who has in turn hurt you, in this example by being unfaithful, the action of hurting somebody who has caused you to suffer. Okay. It was a revolution. It was a revelation that he too was a teacher like her. Is this okay? Absolutely. Really great example. Thank you for that. So to realize that they are both teachers when that knowledge had not been known beforehand. Okay. We should not decide to take revenge. We should not decide to take revenge. So revenge is typically seen as a bad thing. It's a much better thing to just forgive people and move on. But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen that way. Where am I from and what time is there now? Because you're 5 hours ahead. So in Liverpool, where I live, it's now 11:20. So 5 hours ahead. Is it going to be 4:20 where you guys are? Yeah. So as I say, the lessons in Great British time are 10:30 till 11:30. I've posted that in the comments there for future reference for you if you're still not sure. Okay. Another easy one, we have reverse. Reverse, which is to move backwards. The car reversed off the path. Reverse. Okay. Revision. Revision is an action of studying information and trying to remember it, usually for an upcoming exam. It is important to develop revision techniques as the exams approach. Revision. Also, a change made to a plan or proposal. As the budget was cut, we are forced to make revisions to the project. Okay. So in one sense, revision comes from the verb to revise, to go over, to repeatedly read and study in order to try to remember it. It is important to develop revision techniques as exams approach. And also at the bottom there, a change made to a plan or proposal. The budget was cut, the funding was stopped, so they had to make revisions to the project. Okay. Do you have a proper institute where you can take admission? No need for that. All you have to do is just join the live streams. Okay. There's no need to join anything as far as I know. I go about revision your every topics. So you would revise them. That would be the verb, or you do revision on every topic. That's nice of you to say. I'm sure your English is coming along really strongly, like he says. the more that you go over something which you've learned and you repeatedly read it or develop your knowledge in it by going over and over it, the better you're going to become at that thing, especially if that's English. Okay. Revive is to enliven, to bring back to life, or to refresh. The tired workers were revived by the pizzas. So eating pizza, having something to eat can often revive you if you're feeling tired or a bit worn out. Oh gosh, I could do with a pizza, it seems, or a very strong coffee to revive me. And the noun is revival. Okay, revival. Revision of Laura Mann's sessions will help all to improve. Yeah. So yeah, if you revise, then you will hopefully improve your English. On and off, I revise on your lecture. That would be the verb to revise. Revision is a noun. So be careful how we're saying that. But yeah, to revise from the lecture would be to go over the content and maybe to rewind through the slide and practice along with me. Please share your online timings. So it's 10:30 till 11:30 Great British time. On paper, night students should not revise the book. It shouldn't be the night of the exam, I think is what you mean. Don't revise, don't leave it till the last minute. Okay, then we have rhetoric. Rhetoric, which is tricky because we've got the silent H there. Rhetoric is persuasive language, often lacking sincerity. The politician could only offer empty rhetoric instead of answers to the questions of the people. That's rhetoric. Rhetoric. Okay. The politician could only offer empty rhetoric. That's words which are lacking sincerity, which don't have any particular meaning or intent behind them. We've got a couple of examples in the comments box. Mohammed, the lessons will be taking place between 10:30 and 11:30, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay. I revive Nook and Corner. Maybe it's to come back to life in the sense. So maybe that one could do with being changed a little bit. I have revived myself from smoking, so a good example to sort of come back to life, to improve oneself and their health, well-being after smoking. Tell us about the preparation course. So my lessons are aimed at improving pronunciation, but we have a number of other tutors which tackle other areas like grammar. So if you're struggling with those things, do just scroll through our page and you'll be able to find their lessons as well. Ridiculous. I think we're not going to get through the rest of the R words today, to be honest. Ridiculous is an adjective meaning silly, over the top, exaggerated, comical. The girl looked ridiculous in her Halloween costume. Okay, to look silly, to look stupid, over the top. Yeah. I sure on this platform without rhetoric. That would be sort of the words that you would learn. I took rhetoric decision last year. You may also be familiar with the word rhetorical. is an adjective meaning a word that a question which does not invite an answer. So I could say maybe, do you think I'm tired today? Which wouldn't mean literally to answer and say, yes, I think you're tired. It would mean it's obvious that I'm tired. So that's a rhetorical question. Okay. Then we have rifle. Rifle, which is a gun. And the man lowered his rifle and did not shoot the duck. Okay, it's just the gun, a big massive gun which can shoot many bullets in a short space of time. I'm confused. 10:30 to 11:30 in Pakistani time. No, I'll just Google it for you now. Oh, at the moment it's 3:30 where you are, isn't it? So the lessons in Pakistan time would take place from 2:30 until 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay. Our next word is riot. Riot, which is a verb and a noun, to cause a violent disturbance in a crowd of people in response to injustice. The workers rioted against their unequal pay. So the injustice there is their unequal pay. The workers rioted. Okay. Riot, to cause a violent disturbance, could mean to shout, to throw things, to become violent and hit people. That would be part of a riot. And it also is the noun, a violent disturbance. There will be a riot if you do not pay your workers equally. Riot. Okay. I'm sure you've all experienced a riot at some time or another. Hopefully not been part of it yourself. Okay. These lessons will be Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday every week, not every day. Okay. Risky is the adjective here. The path they took was risky because it ran so close to the water's edge. It is full of the possibility that it will go wrong. So you can imagine what will happen if it goes wrong. They would fall in the water maybe. That would be the risk that is being taken here. Imran has cleverly come up with a current example of riot. There was a massive riot last month in the USA about racial issues. Yeah. So I believe there was a riot. People were looting, stealing from shops, and there was a lot of violence, police brutality. Yeah, so that's a really good example, which is current. And I think this is a really good way of showing you how you can develop your pronunciation and your comfort and familiarity with these words by trying to link them to current events, which would make the word more relevant to you, and a good way of developing your usage, I think, of the word to try and link it to current events. As I returned from work one day, a riot broke out on the road, though I was lucky to escape the violence. Absolutely, really good example. I hope not a true one. Awful when people have to go through this. You know, a lot of countries are struggling with violence at the moment, particularly the USA with the racial issues, as we said before. As I returned from work, a riot broke out on the road, though I was lucky to escape the violence. Really good example, thank you for that. I said to her last Friday that I love her, but it was a risky decision, though she agreed. So, yeah. The risk there was to tell somebody that you love them. Obviously the risk is that they will reject you, and that hasn't obviously happened, so the risk has paid off, the risk being the noun and risky being the adjective. While you are late today, the lesson is finished. You can rewatch it on the Facebook page if you want to go through the content that we've gone through today, and I'll be back again tomorrow. I think we'll finish off the R words tomorrow because the lesson's already finished and I don't want to keep everybody for potentially another 10 minutes whilst I go through the rest of the R words. So unfortunately, I think that will have to run on until tomorrow now, guys. Shankar, it's true. I'm sorry that you've had to go through that. Hopefully everybody is safe now. So just to say thank you again to everybody who has joined the live stream today. I hope that you found it helpful going through these R words, and we'll finish off the R words tomorrow. That is going to be between 10:30 and 11:30. We'll finish those off and we will make a start on the S words. There's lots and lots and lots of S words for us to go through, so plenty more sessions to come. Make sure you watch tomorrow if you're interested in those, and then we'll be back again next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10:30 till 11:30 Great British time. The Bangladesh time, I will sort that out now. Bangladesh time, it's 3:30 until 4:30. Okay, that'll be the lesson in Bangladesh time. To increase the duration, we did originally have our lessons at 3 hours long on a Monday morning, but people's phones began to overheat and they couldn't watch the whole thing. So that's why we split it into 3 1-hour-long sessions. But that has worked a little bit better so far. But we are considering to increase maybe to 1.5 hours. Just let us know in the comments if you think that would be better for us to increase the duration. It's up to you if you think that would be helpful or not. Okay, so I'm going to finish it here. I hope to see you all tomorrow if you would like to join me again. And yeah, I'll see you then to finish off those words. Everybody have a nice day or night wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you then. Okay. Bye, everybody.